What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. I was literally just live, so if you guys were with me before, you guys are like, Justin, you're crazy. You're literally just going back-to-back lives. But that's what I do, especially on Tuesdays. So my name is Justin, a.k.a. No Good Comics. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We had just celebrated the 900 subscriber giveaway milestone just a few minutes ago. So thanks to everybody who was hanging out there. We are here to talk a little bit, just a little bit, about a good book that we've been reading recently by Rick Remender. And I wanted to bring up the little panel thing here. Here we go. For our unofficial underground comic book club that we've been putting together. It's kind of been a fling out of nowhere that we threw this together for Black Science. We're going to be talking about Black Science Volume 4 here today. If you guys have not been reading this, you should be. And spoilers for anybody who didn't realize that we're about to talk about this book. Let me bring in the cast here, and we have some new faces, some old faces. So we'll kick this off with my man Eric, aka Azor's Tiger, who was just live earlier today. Eric, what's going on, brother?
What's happening, everybody? Thanks for having me, Justin.
Yeah. Heck yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate you coming in. I love to see you doing your thing, man. Love the channel, seeing it's growing now. Saw you and Jeff hanging out earlier, talking about some future, MCU films. It was good stuff. If anybody missed that, you should go check it out.
Thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Let's see. Let's bring in from Team Nerd Herd, my man JR. What's going on, JR?
Nothing much. Let's see how short I can make this. Go Raiders.
Yeah, you mother. All right. So the next person that we have up, we got my man Jason, Claiming Comics. What's going on, Jason?
How we doing? I was just here 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, literally.
5 minutes ago. How we doing?
Going good, man. You sure you're gonna be able to hang with me for 2 hours straight? You all right?
Yeah, I think I can put up.
You can put up. Appreciate you, man. All love JR. All love.
I know.
How you doing, JR?
I'm doing fucking great after that win last night, but it was an amazing game. So
very entertaining. That is for
Yes.
sure. Absolutely. Well, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us as well. This has been the crew here for this unofficial underground comic book club that we've been putting together. It's been fun, man. Yeah, now it's official. Yeah, we moved to official now. We're on trade for a Black Science. But before we get into all the fun and before we say hello to the chat, we do have one other guest with us here tonight. So I'm calling it as a special guest. And really first time on my channel, yet alone a lot of people's channels. I'm really excited to bring on my good friend Sheena, aka She the Geek. What's going on, Sheena?
Hello.
What's going on?
Justin, I was promised dogs.
They're around.
okay,
They're
woof,
upstairs right
woof,
now.
woof.
Yeah, there you go, JR. You never said what kind of dogs.
Subscribing again.
Well, if you really miss the dogs, just go back and watch that one episode of my origin story where Anthony, Comics Are Great, when I interviewed him.
Oh, yeah. I remember
the dogs just going nuts. My girlfriend wasn't home, so I couldn't even leave to settle them down.
That was awesome.
And it sounded brutal. I went back and listened to it later. I'm like, man, it did sound vicious. They're just playing. But well, Sheena, thank you so much for taking some time and hanging out with us. I know you've been enjoying Black Science as well and hanging out with us in the comment section. So I'm really excited that you're with us here today to kind of break down and give some thoughts of this trade number 4. I put your information along with all these guys' information in the description below too. So anybody that
What information?
All your personal address, phone number, all the.
Okay. Send me Hello Kitty stuff.
Yeah, there you go. If you're not following these people, I recommend that you do over on Instagram or YouTube or both. Please do so. Let's see. Let's just say a quick hello to the chat. I just saw some people. We got 8 people hanging with us right now. We got Something Wong. First and foremost, dropping some roses. What's going on, Wong? Thanks for hanging out. Danime, there he is. What's going on, Danime? Thanks for stopping in. We got Inja Binja hanging out with us as well. Hello, Inja. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, did you notice that Something One brought roses and then Danime brought cupcakes? It's like, did they know she was going to be on here?
Oh, they're bringing all the
Am I the
good.
only one that didn't know?
There was a little bit of a spoiler
They're my
last
stalkers.
night
I love
Really?
it.
on Sunday from Steve.
Maybe they brought this.
I stalked them. They stalked me.
Maybe
That's
they brought this stuff for JR. I thought,
Oh, God.
especially the roses.
That makes sense.
You're making assumptions, brother. So.
That part.
Hey, I'd rather have the cupcakes.
That too. Yeah, so I had to put the word out a little bit and
nice.
do
That's
some
awesome.
tagging. But yeah, so let's see. We had Glenn 2K12 hanging out with us. What's going on, Glenn? Thanks for hanging out. Astro Wizard hanging out again. Just saw him earlier as well on my other live stream. Thanks for hanging out again, Astro Wizard. Guys, make sure you smash that like button. Phil Ailing is back again. Hello again, all he says. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see, just scrolling through. We got Michelle in the house. What's going on? Moonlit Comics also was hanging out with us earlier. Wong is saying, are we reviewing Dark Phoenix Saga? Not tonight. No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet. Actually, that's I'm gonna plug this now. Me and John's Comics with Kids are coming back with our season 2, and we jump right into the Dark Phoenix Saga.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
right in the middle.
And we are looking for guests. So if you guys
already know, dude.
Yeah, I gotta reserve my spot.
Yeah, pick an issue. Some of them already been picked. Chet, he jumps on this stuff.
Wait, I'll just pick a date.
There you go. Yeah. You give us a date. We'd love to have all you guys back for sure. That's coming up in just a couple weeks. So actually next Tuesday is going to be our opening. We're not breaking down an issue that day. We're just going to talk about it. We're going to recap and all this other fun stuff. But
I'm trying to win this season, by the way.
Oh, there you go. All right, there you go.
You got to arm wrestle Chet for it.
I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I'm back in the gym, Doug. Like Sheena.
Yeah, you guys.
Sheena's been motivating me, dude.
Sheena, you're killing it.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like crap, man.
Hey, I'm one of your followers, yo. I'm one of your followers. I'm one of your subscribers.
Yeah. Yep. Sit in the gym. Let's see. I think I got everybody seeing a lot of love. Appreciate all you guys and gals.
I love you too.
And there's Alan. What's going on, Alan? So I know Alan has been sticking with us too. He's been talking.
Alan's been on it.
I know. I think he said he didn't read this latest one, but that's okay. Yeah, he knows spoilers are up. So all right, let's dive into this. And I wanted to confirm real quick. I forgot to confirm earlier. We're gonna keep this to an hour, so we're gonna hard stop it at 10 o'clock. Unless JR, do you have to jump a little earlier than that, or
no? We're good.
You okay. Okay. So we'll try to keep this at 10. 10 o'clock. We'll wind down. All right. Other than that, so we're talking about Black Science issue trade number 4, I should say. And I'm always like, there's just so much to talk about, and I always I don't know necessarily always the correct approach to this. So what I think I might just do is just kind of throw it to somebody to kind of talk a little bit about first, or just your general thoughts. We'll go around and then kind of pick it up from there. We can go in different directions. So we'll go in order here. Eric, we'll start with you first. What was your general thought on this trade? I know it's only 5 issues. And how would you grade it, and just how'd you feel about it overall?
Man, so this one I'm going to grade it at let's say a 9.4. Oh, wow. So when I picked it up, I was telling the guys I thought I had the wrong trade because it didn't pick up where we left off, and it started like a brand new story arc. Mm-hmm. So I started reading it. I think I finished it in 2 days or almost one night, something like that. Like I couldn't put it down. So I did like you do, Justin. I actually picked this one up digital because I didn't have time to hit the shops. So grabbed the digital, and man, I think I was more amazed because I got a lot of feedback from this trade where it was like a coming of age story almost, mm-hmm. and almost some self-fulfilling prophecy type stuff with our main protagonist Grant, right? Yep. And man, it's like I'll wait till we all start talking about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's got me definitely ready for the next trade because I think this one was more so like him coming to grips of who he is, who he was, and then who he's getting ready to become. Yep. So man, I'm all for it, and I do stuff like that with myself, so I think that's why I loved it so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So
I think
I can really understand this trade. It's crazy.
Yep. Well said. And 9.4 is definitely a solid grade, I think, for this. Jason, what are your thoughts? How would you grade this, and what were your initial thoughts on this trade?
If my memory serves me correct, I think I've been given like each trade like a 9, just because 10 is a perfect score, right? But don't get it twisted. I'm the same like 9.4 area if you were talking like comic grade scale. You know what I mean? I'm just going off of 1 to 10. But I'd still give it a 9. This volume definitely didn't have as much action as the other ones have been consistently like building upon. Because each trade, I swear, it's been like a lot of action has been just continuously building, right? But like Eric said, we're it opens up a brand new arc, and like you're not sure where exactly you are. But this delves like 3 of the issues. Like I feel like most of it delved within like the character past, and like childhood trauma, and like like Eric said, going through and like trying to become a better person out of going through these experiences and going back, revisiting them and whatnot. So it got real deep. So like, and I discussed this with Sheena earlier. I was just talking to her about it, and because it's so deep, I still give it the same score, just because like it doesn't need the action. You know what I mean? Like it's just, the writing is just as good, and we'll go into details later. And I took down a bunch of quotes that I really loved from this volume.
Nice. Yeah. No doubt. JR, what about you, my friend? How would you grade it? What were your thoughts?
I'd still stick with about 9. I really love this one because I love it almost felt like a study of a serial killer kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that whole
that's good.
Like how it breaks down. This is why he's doing what he does, and and gives you more insight, and so you can almost kind of feel like from this point on, I can read and I can be from his point of view. I can understand why he's doing what he's doing, and I really like that they took a moment to kind of go, okay, I need you to be in this certain mindset to understand what's going to happen down the road. Yep. Obviously, I'm not going to spill anything, but I thought that was really a real novice, a real new way of doing something, because I hadn't seen a book where they did that, where they took an ensemble cast and then took one character and went, focus on this guy.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, no, well said. It's definitely unique, and for me, from what I've read so far from any book, this is definitely a different approach altogether, I think. Sheena, what about you? How would you grade this, and what were your initial thoughts of this particular trade?
I wasn't going to say anything. I just sit here. I would grade it a 9. 9 is good.
Yeah.
I love the character building in this story. I like, just like I was talking to Jason earlier, like I like that it's just not beginning, middle, end. Like you get to dig in, you get to pull those layers back and really look at these characters.
Yep.
And you get to really see the foundation of this character, and why he is maybe the way he is, So it was good.
Well said. And I am right there with all of you. I think I'm going to give it a 9.4 for the emotion that I got from this book, from this trade specifically, the way we learn about Grant as a kid, what he had gone through. I think it's also the fact that we're in trade 4 now, that we're just getting this. I like that. We've kind of had some time now to go through all these roller coasters and crazy, things. And like the way the writing is, it does it so well where we pump the brakes for just a little bit, and we have these quick glimpses of like just deep interaction of a character. And he almost like, if someone were to tell me this on paper, like here's how it's going to be, I would almost like think it's not going to work. Like, oh no, like a reader's not going to like want to, they're not going to care about that, or they're not going to, I don't know. And again, I'm not a professional writer, but it's like, it seems like it's something that wouldn't work, but reading it, like if I explained it to somebody, I just feel like I wouldn't do a good job doing it. But like, when you actually read this thing, like the way that we've learned everything throughout these 4 trades altogether, it's just been so well done. And including this, that this is not, you couldn't open trade 1 with this, because it just wouldn't be the same. Yeah, like
you know what's funny though? It kind of did. Literally issue 1 puts you in a place, and I remember saying this the first breakdown. If this was coming out monthly for me instead of binging these trades,
Yeah.
I probably would have picked it up just from the artwork, but like as a new reader in itself, picking up an issue 1, I'm not sure if I would have continued in the general place it puts you in as a reader, because it was so like, what is going on? You know what I mean? But this is that long form storytelling where like Remender and Hickman does this too. They don't give a shit if you will understand or not. This is how the story's gonna go, and you're either gonna like it or not. You know what I mean? And like, I like when they set their boundaries, like authors or writers or whatever. Of they have their writing style. They're gonna stick with it. They're not gonna pander to every audience of like grabbing your attention, I guess. Yeah. And like just gonna tell the story how it is, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. But it almost feels like he's trying to throw you off too. Like he's like a bucking bronco going, okay, you're gonna be writing this, you're gonna read it, and you're gonna enjoy it, but I'm gonna buck your ass as much as possible.
Sure.
And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, well.
It's true, man, and that's what I love about it. Is that you don't need to know everything. Like, even if we talk, I don't want to go too deep back, but like just like breaking down trade 1 when we did, like, you meet all these random characters and they go through all these different worlds, and you're just like, what is all this? But you learn that you don't need to know all of it. You don't need to know the rules of the world that they're in, or the different species and things like that. I know we have the worm insects, in this one.
Millipede.
I can't think of their names now.
Drowns, or DRALYN.
Drowns, yeah. So I love that style. I saw here Danime asked trade 4 how many issues per. So it's about 5 per trade. So I think the first one was 6, and then the rest have been 5. So this was issue 17 to 21 for those who are trying to keep follow along.
I just looked it up. It's 43 issues
total. Oh wow! Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
it's a short run.
Because I think I saw 3 Omnis at the shop.
Okay, yeah. So this trade was the first, or the first trade of the second Omni. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So man, we're halfway. It's kind of crazy.
It is.
And with the story that we got, I saw Ragin in the house. What's going on, Ragin? I also saw Steve, Hip Hops, and me hanging out before as well. So appreciate that. I saw Alan saying, I remember having to reread stuff because I thought I missed something, but I realized it was just a string to be pulled on later, Hickman style. Yeah, well said. Definitely.
I think that's why I like Remender and Hickman, because the way that they write, like Jason was saying, you're either going to like it or you're not. Mm-hmm. And then basically, I feel that they show you how you're going to have to read their books.
Yeah.
Because if you don't follow the path that they have, you're going to miss something.
Sure.
And you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
But also, we've read enough of Hickman and Remender that we know they're going to pay it off in the end.
Exactly.
You're just going to have faith. The first time reading through it, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
But once you read a couple of their runs, you realize that's just their style. They're going to get back to it. Yeah.
What I appreciate about that style is it's always better on the reread too. Maybe not better because it's not your first read through, but like it's always still worth reading through a second time because you pick up on a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of things.
And Danime, he's behind. All right, let's see. All right, so just to kind of recap just the majority of the story, and obviously we can kind of, I know I'll miss things. You guys jump in whenever, this is not a formal thing, so you guys can jump in whatever. I just wanted to open up with the first issue where we get this guy who's kind of like a rug, essentially. You can't see him, like he's just in a hoodie type thing. And he's moping around. He has this alien that's following him, and he's just asking questions like why, what, who, like literally just asking those.
And they're with a
mask. 3-year-old.
With a mask, by the way.
Yeah. By the way, if I freeze here for a second, just carry on. But
we got you back.
All right, cool. So you find out that it's Grant McKay, the main character, and Grant's like just waking. He's like just snapping out of like he's having this robot computer remind him of like what was he doing? Why was he here again? And so we don't really know what's going on. We don't know which Grant McKay this is. We know we've met multiple Grant McKays in the past.
Also, in 3 years we find out.
Yes, we a huge jump. Yeah.
Just to recap, the very last issue.
They broke the machine.
Everyone found out that Rebecca was, her goal was getting her dead brother back, or jumping to a dimension where her brother's alive, and then Grant comes in and he thinks that Kadir is still the bad guy, and he kills him, stabs him, kills him. Last second, he finds out Rebecca's the real bad guy.
The real bad guy.
Jump, and then we're in this world, this weird world. I took notes and I put weird world.
Yeah.
Grant, his memory's lost. His memory's
Yeah.
his memory's a little funky, and it mentions something is eating his memories.
Or he thinks something is eating his
memories.
memories.
Or he thinks something is eating his memories, and we find out it's been 3 years since that jump happened, and everyone got displaced within the EVERVERSE.
Everyone's
in a different place. Yeah,
it's like the snap, Thanos snap.
Yeah.
I just keep seeing Jason do this, so I just keep thinking of the snap. So yeah, no, spot on. That was crazy too. The fact that the way we left off on the last one, 3 years now. So he's finally getting back to this, but we're getting all these flashbacks, and this is kind of some of the stuff we touched on right in the beginning here. What do you guys think about some of these early flashbacks of like learning about Grant as a child, seeing how he walks in on his mom. His mom's, with another guy who's not his dad, and she tells him it's the
Oonga Loonga.
Oonga Loonga.
Yeah.
And if you lie, that this Oonga Loonga creature is going to get you and all this different stuff. So it keeps him like quiet.
Basically, there's this flashback, and I loved how it started so innocent, because it starts out with a young Grant McKay, and the artwork is fantastic, with emotions and whatnot on the faces. There's a young Grant McKay. It's the middle of the school day, but he's walking home, and this old man on his porch is like, "Hey," and he's like, "What are you doing? You should be in school." And like, it was a real nice innocent moment where he's saying, "Oh, I have a stomach ache," and he's like, "Where are your parents at?" And he's like, "Oh, they're busy. I'm walking home. This and that."
You thought that was innocent?
Fucking creep.
That was creepy. That was creepy.
What is this dirty old man doing?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was like,
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I thought.
I
knew him,
but
they're getting a little dirty. They're getting a little.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Now continue your story, because I think the old man knew what was going on.
Right.
I think the old man was trying to prevent him from seeing what
I
happened.
didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring this one scene up here.
I didn't think of that.
Because don't forget, that's not the only dude that's happened with, evidently.
All right, but remember this.
That old man's probably been there.
So there's the old man, but as we swipe through,
going up is
going the right way. No, going the
wrong way.
10 pages this way. All right, so as we go through, and you get the boy here talking to the old man.
Nice old man.
When you see him walking away, check this out. From the porch.
That's right.
That's
right.
Right? From the porch.
The snake dude, the middle of the onion
insect
Grant,
guy.
or I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it started like that, right? It started like kind of playful in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And then
which wasn't good. Yeah.
Another snap. Boom, it gets dark. He walks in on his mom's again.
No man should ever walk in on his mom doing that.
No.
Yeah, that was bad.
Man.
He had a tough life, dog.
But okay, so he gets he walks in, and then the man leaves. He says this spiel to his mother, and then his mother confronts young Grant and says, "Listen, you can't tell this to your father, or else the Goonga Loonga monster is gonna come and tear this family apart." So he's scared. He's scared. He's like, "All right."
Hence the diary of a serial killer.
Right.
I mean, it literally is like a different onion. He'd be a serial killer.
Yeah, Grant had a messed up childhood, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
Yeah.
And then
I like how his mom made it seem like it was his fault. Like he came home early and shit. And she had an attitude about it. Like
totally.
Right.
She twisted everything. She twisted
and then
everything.
That's how she was after the fact too with the dad. She was basically everything she was saying to him is pretty much what she was saying to herself.
That was heavy.
And she was taking that out on him.
I thought it was also interesting because if you think about the juxtapose of him doing that with Rebecca to his own wife.
Exactly.
So his mom was doing it.
Yeah. True.
And then now you flip it and all of a sudden he's the guy doing the exact same thing that he caught his mom doing.
True.
Right.
So he was like
after
scarred.
that. Oh no, I'm sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying. So he was like scarred. I mean, it just carried on his life, which is like very relatable in the grand scheme of like people and how we live and how we grow, you know, based on what we were surrounded by as kids and so on and so forth. You know, I love that he ties all this into a relatable sense, you know, or at least an understanding of, oh, like that's how it happened, you know.
We're able to look at this character way deeper than beforehand. Yeah. Whereas we were looking at him like just a bad guy for what you know, coming up with our own conclusions. Yeah.
And that's part of the story that I love too, is that this is like, this takes out all the elements of like, oh, it's about this, you know, futuristic space travel thing. It's way deeper than that. It's about human beings with real life, you know, things that we go through and you know,
needs and wants.
Right.
It's like a flower blooming, right? You think it's just one thing or a general idea of things, and then it blooms. You're like, you know, like that's cool. But I like how like even though we get these flashbacks, he's still moving the story forward, because after this flashback about him walking in on his mother cheating on his father, he looks into the mirror, and this is him present, like in this other world, right? He looks into the mirror, and that other version of him, the snake with the wings, right?
Yeah, he sees that thing.
Yeah, he sees him in his reflection, and he tells him that I wrote this down. What does he say? He tells him where to find the power source, because his home, like where he's living right now, is like a ship, is like a spaceship or something, and like again, something's feeding on his memories, something's taking his memories away. So it's like kind of easing. Or at
least he thinks he does.
Or at least something he thinks something's eating his memories, right? So like, the snake guy, you know, the other Grant, right in the middle of the onion, tells him where to go to find a power source to power
get
up
out
the
of
ship,
there.
so he can find his family. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, to go back also to the family, I think it was in that same issue when he's talking to, when it's him and his brother, or is that the next issue?
That's the end of it, the first issue. Yeah.
Okay.
His brother, yep.
Where his brother shows up to save him at the end of the first issue.
Yeah.
And then we do a flashback of a brother and him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole scene about like the father's having problems with the wife or the mother, and the son goes to the father and goes and basically tells him, hey, it's not your fault.
Right.
Mom's been fucking around behind your back.
Yeah.
This was so heavy.
That part.
And it just crushes you, because you're going like, I know I would do the same thing. Yep. I think any one of us guys up here would do the same thing.
And the hug
to their mother, or just to save their father like that.
I'd have pistol whipped her.
but it just shows, because Grant, just like his father, he doesn't have that spine. He doesn't have that. He can't stand up and say, I'm tired of this bullshit.
Right.
This is what you do. He'd rather slink off into a corner and hide.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that you're going through. One of the themes in the story is Grant's trying to find his spine during this whole story. We saw a little bit of Flash in the last trade where he did the cure thing and he's trying to become a hero for his son. So I think that's one of the big arcs in this. That puppet show is fucked up, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So just to rewind. So this is issue 18, and okay. So Grant is in some other dimension, or it's called God World. All right.
Oh yeah, that was
God
true.
World. And I'm assuming this is some dimension or something where you know, things can appear from your memories from your past, and like, you know, stuff can go on, abstract things and ideas can go on, right? So in issue 18, they open up after Grant's brother, what's his name, Brian, rescues him from the Goonga Loonga. They end up going to a bar, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here, let me.
I'm just showing some clips.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they go to a bar, and then there's this puppet show that's going on. That's exactly what JR just said about, you know, the brother's childhood, you know, and even when their father was about to commit suicide with the gun, right? Right before that, Brian, his brother, is like, you know what? I'm not about that. You know, if you want to go in and deal with that, you do that. We're going to get in trouble, right? So, like, Brian was always, and this is a theme where Brian was always, like on the other side of where Grant was, right? And after what JR said about, a Grant walking in and saving his father, being like, it's not your fault, we love you. She's the problem, if anything, right? Like, she's not, she doesn't appreciate you, what you do for everyone. But he drops the ball and tells his father that mom has boyfriends. They come over all the time, they do this, that. And his father couldn't deal with that, so he ends up offing himself. He commits suicide.
Yeah.
And after their whole childhood, through their teenage years, throughout becoming an adult, their mother always blamed Grant. Always, I remember that scene where they're teenagers in high school, and Brian, the brother, has a prom date, and their mother is just like, like, you would have had a nice prom date if you were normal. If you were, this and that. And then, starts freaking out. And it's a theme where his mother just blames him for everything. Because
And I'm sure he blames himself, too.
Of course.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes it even harder because he can't defend it. He can't go, well, no, I didn't. He has to kind of agree with her.
I would think it's my fault, too, man. If even though I was trying to...
But she's constantly putting that in his head. She's constantly tearing him down. But you can see from her, that's how she did his dad, too. Because he was already at that situation, ready to kill himself, commit suicide, before Grant came in on him. What you saying, Sheena?
No, I was just going to say that now that you got to see that, like, if you go back to the other issues, you can really see that, like, his mom and his dad are really woven into him, like, the way he acts sometimes that's his mom. The way he acts sometimes, that's his dad, like, they have been the foundation of, like, who he is now. Like, it's crazy now that we have that story, how all that is making sense. Like, you're like, oh, okay,
Exactly.
That makes sense.
The picture I was showing is when he started figuring things out, like where he was and the surrounding and stuff. That's the one that I showed.
I was going to bring up, too, these are just some of the panels from as he starts to have this nightmare, and I know I'm like
Lunga Lunga.
Yeah, just seeing some of that. They're the dogs, by the way. Am I going the right way?
So basically, this is Grant. He sees a lot of things in this world, and like the main theme, I'm assuming, is that he can't let it consume him, and become this monster and take it out on everyone he loves. Hence the Oonga Loonga monster. This is him who transformed in front of his brother, and he has to deal with his issues, and not let that slide over into his current family. You know what I mean?
That's what this is about.
Well, and
facing your fears and stuff like that.
And that's a major picture too, because the symbolism in that of him carrying his family.
Yep.
Because that's something in his head at all times, is he has to be the guy to carry them to safety.
Yep.
Right.
Real heavy issue, man. This was
totally
crazy.
And then once again, the artwork, the colors, it all plays into it, dude.
The
and I like how it moves back and forth, but you can follow it well. You're not like, what the fuck just happened? Or sorry, Justin, I'm trying not to cut.
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're right. The way it kind of tells these stories, it kind of you get these flashbacks, but it goes forward with move. He moves the story forward very well, even though he's like technically telling two stories at once. Type.
Exactly.
Deal. Oh, that's what I wanted to get to too.
I figured you headed that direction.
Yeah.
So this is where we're coming to.
Oh, hold up. I want to get to that quote. I'll get to that quote, Eric.
Yeah.
I know you both had some things to say about this.
Oh man.
You guys are both messaging me about this.
What Justin was showing, he says, "Are you ready to move on?" Right. So this opens up with issue 19. And in issue 19, we open up with Grant as a child and his father's still alive. His father's a construction worker. And his father's taking him around. He's at his job at the construction site, and Grant's complaining. He's like, "Dad, I don't want to be here. Being a kid, I want to go play with my friends." But this really touched me, man, because he was like, "Listen, man, one day you're gonna thank me because this is all I got, and I want to share it with you. Whether you like it or not, this is all I've got, and I want to be a part of your life." And that really touched me, you know what I mean? That really
it was deep. That was deep.
Whether he likes construction or not, and little kid's not going to understand, obviously, but the father was straight up about it. He was like, "Listen, this is literally all I have. You know, like I want to share it with you while I'm alive.
Well,
Right.
and I mean that's a very much a father-son thing too, because it's always. I mean, we all us guys have this memory of something that we did with our father, where they taught us how to do something. We may not be great with cars or whatever, but there's that one moment where your father took you out on Sunday morning and taught you how to do something.
The reason it touched me so much is because I personally don't have that with my father, and I think it touched me because of that reason. Because like I never really had that, to be honest.
See, mine's more with my grandfather. I lucked out and had a grandfather that could build anything, but my father never taught me shit. But it's one of those things where. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, go.
Okay, I was gonna say it's just one of those things where every man wants to be able to carry that on, and I think that's where the tying in is that he's learning that lesson of he needs to do that for his family too.
That little line of like, this is all I have, you know, I want to spend time with you. That really, I don't know, that really hit me as much as the other issue, you know, just that one line.
Yeah.
But yeah, right after that, it's like this whole dream sequence still, right? He's still in this other world. So like, what they're climbing, right? They're climbing a mountain or something.
Yeah, he's trying to keep up with his dad.
No, he's trying to keep up with his dad, and he has a pack.
I like this whole part right here. This was my favorite part. This whole part.
In his pack, isn't it his mother holding him down, saying like, "It's your fault. You're a piece of shit. You know, like you're not. You know, it's not gonna be
all the baggage, like as he goes on.
Yeah, I was gonna
he
say
collects all that baggage, and people are trying to stop him. Right.
He keeps adding stuff too in every shot.
There he is. There.
Yep. So it's like I'm also like Jason, you know, mine wasn't around and everything, but I was able to, you know, move forward regardless. And then, you know, similar to JR, my grandfather showed me some, you know, things. And so it's like with this story arc, his father wasn't wealthy, you know, he didn't, like he said, he didn't have anything to give him, but he had this trade. So he could teach him his trade, so he would have something, you know, to work with when he moved on in life. You know, it wasn't about school. It wasn't about going to get this 9-to-5 job. It was like, look, you know, this is something that you can do and you can build with your hands. You know, you can get out there and do something with this. You know, so I thought that was pretty deep.
I don't know if it was a birthday gift or something, but he gave him a tool set back.
He gave him a tool set.
Like, you know, you'll be able to build something with this. And, you know, you'll remember me, you know, after you know, make things, and you know, it's got real deep, man.
Yeah, because he said he couldn't give him something so that he could teach him how to build his birdhouse.
Exactly.
He gave him all that he knew, dude. Like that's even if it wasn't that big, you know, like that's all he knew, and he gave it to his son, you know, like that's big. Also, you don't realize how big that is until you get older, and then you realize and you appreciate that.
Exactly.
So.
There's also that throwaway line too when he was complaining about it, and he said something about no one cares about this, and the guy's like, I'm building a home for people. There's gonna be 20 people that are gonna live in this.
That part.
How great is that? What's better?
I'm providing, and it's he was kind of humbling him, going,
"Yep,
I'm doing something for," and obviously you could tell that resonated in Grant because he wanted to create science or do science and help mankind.
Right.
I mean, and so I mean, it was obviously something that kind of resonated really strongly in him. But just that line of him saying, "Yeah, I'm making a house, but I'm making a house that's going to home for 20 people. What better can I do? I mean that."
What
that's
better
joy mankind,
to this world than, you know, housing people and you know, making sure they're safe and real deep, man. You know what I mean?
Taking care of my fellow man.
Yeah, man.
That was his way of giving back. And then, like we found out, Grant, this was his way of giving back, even though it was, you know, so many hurdles in his path that he had no idea of, no clue of.
But so basically, after he's dealing with this like kind of dreamscape, kind of abstract world, right, where he's visiting his memories and whatnot. I'm assuming that's what Jeff's going to show. So, you know, climbing the mountain and this
is when he gets to the top and he opens his mirror. And then is that when he finds out it's his mother in his backpack, like that's holding him down. Right. So and he needs to let that shit go. Tell her to shut up.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he lets it all go.
Yeah,
But,
and it's
so
hard.
I-
Like in real life, it's hard to like look at yourself and be like, okay, you know what? I need to work on this, this, and this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm this,
Yep.
this, and this, but I don't always have to be like that. And
Right.
that's
he let go
where
of
I felt
Rebecca
like he
too,
was when
right
he was
there.
climbing that. He had all this baggage and stuff, and he was letting that go. Like, okay,
All
yeah,
of
that
it.
happened, but let's go, let it go. You know, like let's be something different.
Mhm.
And just looking at yourself is hard. And Grant is, you know, trying to really grow here.
Mm-hmm.
So
But so-
powerful. It's
So
deep.
he gets to the top, right, and he
No.
passes the threshold to his end game, right, of this
Mhm.
dimension or wherever, and there's this it's called a godhead, right? That's what it's called,
Yeah.
a godhead,
Yeah.
and it's just
Mhm.
a giant statue. I'm sure Justin will get to it, you know. But it's this
man.
giant statue in this, I guess, dimension or whatever. That's the
Mhm.
thing that's been, you know, taking his memories away or whatever, feeding or whatever, and like, you know, letting him know, like, hey, you ready? You know, you got to face this shit. You're right.
Mhm.
Are you ready for this? But that quote, yeah, right there, that
Look at that
mountain,
scene,
that
man.
head,
Yeah.
Color- the colors
this
and
dimension
everything.
we're in, right?
Yeah.
But that quote Eric showed, let me tell you something, man. That quote I stared at. I was reading last night, and mind you, I was heavily medicated, but I was reading last night, and I'll read the quote right now.
Yeah.
If consciousness is a soil, what energy is uniquely created by the element of life?
Yeah.
And now the answer is given like a couple panels down, but like again,
Hold
heavily
up. I took a picture of that one too.
There you go.
And I was
Yeah, I did
staring- I
screenshots,
was reading
man.
it over like 5 times. I was like, what could it be? But the
Yeah.
answer made so much sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the answer is imagination.
Imagination. Yep.
Imagination.
Yep.
I love
So-
the in these panels the way the light and they do this a lot whenever they're like making a jump with the pillar or anything like that.
Mhm.
Like, I
Right.
like how it just fades. How you have these
Yeah.
these panels, you see it clearly. The light starts to hit, and then everything fades, and then next
Yep.
thing you know, you're in the next scene.
It was awesome.
Mhm.
He's
Man.
waking
Yeah.
up.
What
And then-
what do you produce?
And then he asked him, "What are you going to give back to the cosmic all?
Mhm.
What's going to be, you know, the thing that you do?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was heavy, man.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really
But
was heavy,
also
man.
this answer of imagination, right? He was also trying to find the energy source for what
For the
would
ship.
power this ship, right? In order for him to find his family. And that's the answer. It's literally imagination.
Right.
And like,
And there it
The
is right
box
there.
it.
I took a screenshot of that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, all right.
He left his little creature guy. I was more worried about that. I was like, the little.
Oh yeah.
Someone
There you
asking
go, Jason.
questions.
Imagination.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
But after,
Yeah.
like, it really makes sense. I was really
Yeah.
impressed. I don't know if he, you know, got that from somewhere or if he really, you know,
Mhm.
thought of that himself. But I thought that was genius. The
Yeah.
question and the answer. You know, literally, I'll repeat it again. If consciousness is a soil, what energy is uniquely created by the element of life? Imagination. And I thought that was genius.
Because that's your gift to the
Heavy.
cosmic all.
Yes, sir.
Creating something.
Yep.
Mhm. And his pops that's the whole thing he was trying to teach him.
Yeah.
Create. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember me when you create.
Yep.
Hella deep.
It was,
So-
man.
So and
And then
this
it
is
was
only.
game time after that.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is kind of concludes the first 3 issues of these 5 is just this whole backstory, and perfect time, going right into this next issue. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I said then it gets crazy.
Oh yeah, you're right. Then
Yeah.
then it gets crazy. So like the last thing that you see,
Then we jump right in.
yeah, the last thing you see is he's just making this leap, and he realizes, he kicks it full gear.
Computer in the ship tells them like they can track the suit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, you're the source.
dimension they are in the
And look,
Eververse. So
there's the imagination, his mind. You could see his head,
Yeah.
connected with the ship essentially, right?
Yep.
And there
He
you
was
go.
trying to
again.
let
doesn't
go of
know
everything.
who they're jumping to. They're just jumping the nearest
Blindly.
suit. You know,
Yeah.
like near.
And they could be dead. They could be alive.
Right.
They don't know
Right.
when or
We
where
don't
or
know yet.
how.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what we get into here. Oh, I like how
On the
we
milk.
what's that?
I said they find the millipedes.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
Damn millipedes.
I think you said something about the Philippines. Things are like just like in the Philippines or something.
He showed that scene where he was like, this is where we came across the shaman and those
Yeah.
things, and then boom,
Wait, they
he's
find
smack dab in the middle.
They find Ward's body, not Will. Ward.
Right.
Oh, Ward.
Right,
Yeah.
and remember that's
Yo,
where they
bodyguard.
found the shaman, right? Because they
Yeah,
had
the
kidnapped
very
the shaman.
first trade. Yep.
That's that first picture I showed when he was figuring it all out where they were, and then, like you said, they found the body, and he was able to get the suit, so it all worked out.
Right.
But again, Remender with his writing.
then
I'm gonna go back because Justin like scrolled real quick.
Sorry,
There
yeah,
was a
I'm just
flashback scene of him talking to Ward because he found his
Ward.
dead body from the first trade, right?
Mhm.
And
And
he's
Ward told him.
remembering back in the day, they're in Grant's backyard with his wife and kids, and Ward's like, man, all I want in life is what you have, a wife and kids, a family. Like I just want to be loved. I want to share love, X, Y, and Z. And what Grant says, he just shits on him. He says, bro, this is fake. Like, and what he says is kind of true in society's standards of like what we perceive as happiness. And like, for example, like you see a couple, a friend, right? And they have a significant other, right? But from what they share on their social media doesn't necessarily equate to what's really going on behind closed doors.
Right.
And that's what he was really like hitting the hammer on the nail on. He was like, listen, bro, like it ain't all that.
Right.
A lot of shit that goes on. And, like,
It's about who's better at faking it, is what he said, right? Or who's better at hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, this is bullshit, bro. But he literally just shit on him. He was just like, that's all he wanted was a family. But he was like, you know what? It's not worth it. And now he's dead. So like his writing really, like weaves every.
And now he sees how he was wrong to talk to Ward like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
because he's finally able to see who he is as a person and everything now.
Well, I think he was also able to see that he was taking what he had for granted too.
Yes.
Because he was saying, "Oh, this is shit. This is all bad stuff." But at the same time, it's like
that's all he's fighting for right now.
Yeah, that's what he's fighting for. He's trying to do that, and he just doesn't know how to have he doesn't know what a stable family is.
Yeah. Right.
He doesn't know what love is between two people and kids and all that, and have it be normal.
And he has something Ward didn't have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Ward gave him the suit. And he was able to find out that Ward was killed by Kadar and left there for dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna ask about that. Didn't he just find out that homeboy killed him?
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Hold up. Is this
I think because the robot tell him? Or did he just figure it out?
I think did he research it? I think the robot.
The robot. Yeah.
I like how the robot was talking about getting high. Like the
robot was so awesome.
Chilled on the weed.
Oh, here, hold on.
You was smoking a lot, bro.
I was like, whoa, I feel called out.
There you go.
Nah.
Yeah, man. Some of the artwork, dude.
It's all right.
Yeah. I like how I was looking at that.
Computer.
And between that and who else did we find? Anyone else in this issue, or is it the next issue that we find?
Okay.
I'm just trying to think because we got like
sum it all up. He finds Ward. He goes through this, emotional flashback, and then he jumps again because that was the one suit he found, right? And
right.
He's searching. The computer's like, "You're here," and he's like, "I don't see no one." And he's like, "They're 3 feet below the ground."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's when we find Rebecca's damn suit.
Yeah.
Rebecca's suit.
Yeah.
Man, this was the issue right here.
But what was crazy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
But you know what else was dope? Oh, go ahead, Jer.
I was gonna say what's crazy is he finds Rebecca's suit, but the computer's like, yeah, that's her suit. That's not her though.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your Rebecca.
Right.
That's the Rebecca of this dimension.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
And also, is it just me or is that a TIE fighter? If you scroll that over just a little bit farther. No, go back to that last panel.
Some of the diagrams.
On the diagrams, one of them is a TIE fighter.
Oh, on here?
You can't see it. You can't see it really well.
That corner?
That corner one.
Yeah, over here.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
crazy.
TIE fighter if you look at it normally.
I was thinking that this was like a. Oh, let me bring out I'm not. Skipping
Also,
out here.
like
but-
on this one, he said, "Oh
I
yeah,
see what you're saying. There you go.
your
Yeah, there's
version
definitely-
collected some
Oh
things."
no, wait, I see it.
And he had the arsenal right there.
Yeah,
Hilarious. I didn't even notice that.
but
Sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
fact-
Put that up.
He said, "Your version."
yeah.
Collected
He likes to
things.
collect things. That's
Yeah.
right.
yeah,
And he had everything he needed.
Yeah, he had the weapons.
It's like Men in Black, you know, when they got all the
Yeah,
guns, the
so
wall
dope.
of guns, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that was so dope.
but I just love in this issue how he finds out that my Rebecca's still alive,
Yeah,
and finds out, oh, she's been here for 3 years and she has a family or life and everything,
yeah.
and she's with her brother.
Mhm.
Listen, she got a new husband. She got a kid. She got
Right.
a
Yeah,
brother.
leave
She
it
got a
all.
new
She
job.
was
But what's the greatest
This
part of
bitch.
it? What's the greatest part of it is he is so petty that I mean, we don't see it, but he ends up going to the brother and basically saying,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
Bro, I would. You
she
wouldn't do that?
killed." No, I would too,
I would do that. I'd
Yeah.
be
but it
petty,
was
guys.
very petty. It was
I'd be very petty, brother. I'd be very
Right.
petty. Do the same.
But basically tells.
And what
the
did he
brother-
say? Like in that one panel when he was sitting there watching her, he was like, "She wasn't my mistress. I was her mistress." Like,
right.
all this-
She
You know,
played
she-
him.
All
She
this
played
time, he
him.
was blaming himself for everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There
Now
he is
he
over here.
sees
And she just
she
watching
was the
her.
mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
So
there's
she's
a
free.
So yeah, I would be
She's
petty
freaking
too.
out.
Like she never even looked back. She wasn't even trying to look.
Yeah.
Like she went and
Yeah.
did these scandalous things just so she could have a fucking life that she
And
didn't
this was her
deserve.
game plan all along.
ul-
And she
the
was
ultimate
good.
revenge, though.
She,
Which
yeah, she
we-
didn't care
yeah.
what happened to anybody else.
We
Everybody
technically
else.
learned her game plan. What was it last trade or the trade before that?
Last trade.
Last
Last
trade.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But wasn't the flashback of her brother dying like 2 trades ago? Like
Yeah.
sprinkled
Something
in?
like that, yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
So they
It might have
right,
been the
sprinkled in.
first trade.
Yep. Yeah, because
But-
a lot of that was like, what does that mean to us? Like we like
I was like,
we
yeah.
weren't sure.
Yeah.
Her brother's dead. Like,
But-
okay, you know
But
what I
the
mean?
fact that he
She was
just tells the
super good.
brother and gets the brother, it's like, yeah, your brother's alive, but he fucking hates you and he doesn't ever want to speak to you.
Right.
Right. I love
Yeah.
it.
Jesus.
I love
And then right after she talks to her brother, and her brother's like, "I never want to see you again. I don't even know who you are," basically.
Right.
Goes her husband.
Right.
Right.
And her husband's like, "Listen, the cops been here too. Like, I don't know who
Yeah.
you are, but stay the hell away from me and her,
Here she
Right.
is
daughter,
now.
Yep.
or is it her son? I don't know.
I love the
Mhm.
artwork. Yeah.
But they're like, stay away."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, he fixed her, man.
But we did
I
miss
love
a
this
couple
issue, man.
key
But,
things in there.
Yeah. Back a little bit.
We got, because there's the whole part about like half the onion is void of stuff now.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That
Mhm.
was, where was that?
That was like
Right.
in the, I want to say in the issue 18 or 19.
Hold up. Before
yeah.
that, I wrote down this quote which I really liked, and this was a quote that Grant's father told him when he was a child.
Oh,
Don't miss
Knowledge,
the pose.
knowledge is knowing tomatoes are fruits.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
they don't go on
Adding
everything.
tomatoes to a fruit salad.
Right.
I thought that was
Wisdom.
clever. I
Yeah.
don't know if he stole that or anything.
Right.
That was good.
Hey, that
No,
was
that's
good.
good.
But that
Right.
leads into the whole thing.
I like it when he says it to her, and she's like, "The fuck are you?"
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Copy in the house. What's up, Copy?
But back to what JR was saying, he's talking with the computer about like there's this big space, this big void within the onion, right? And like it's just there's nothing there. There should be worlds and dimensions there, right? So like they find out what is it that every time they jump,
He punches a hole through.
it
Right.
tears the small
Right.
fiber.
I wanted to
Now-
show
now
that
I
panel. I forgot about that panel.
Yeah,
That-
it
where
seemed
is
like-
it? That's
it
18.
seemed-
That's like 18.
But
I want to
that
say it was like
tear-
18 or 19.
I'll
No,
find it.
I think that's the last issue. I think that's
Was
the
it
last
last
issue.
issue?
Oh, it is
That is
last.
the last issue. I put that down as the
Maybe it was
20
20.
21. But each tear in each dimension, they apparently they connect like a string.
Yeah.
You know, like they
That's
connect
what I was
to
gonna
each
say.
other. And I'm assuming that's how he jumped, or no, the computer said the nearest one was in this dimension, but
Oh, so
history repeats itself in this book, right? So like
Yeah,
I'm
here it
assuming
is.
that's
Yeah.
why he went to the,
this right here. was
Yeah,
like,
at the bottom.
yeah,
Yeah.
right there.
okay.
Oh no.
I
There
was
should be
thinking
another page.
Oh yeah, another page.
No,
let's see.
keep
Here, I
going.
got it
There
right
it is.
here.
we got.
There you can see it right. That middle panel. You can see like the up the top of the middle panel.
Oh.
You can see like part of the onion's missing there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And they do say that there's an infinite number of grants and pillars
Right.
making cracks of interconnecting webs of dimensions and stuff. So he's just royally fucking this up, basically.
Damn web slingers.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
I wanted to show the. Oh, I thought this was interesting. This little tidbit. I just want to go back here for a sec. Like this was, I was a little thrown off at first, trying to figure out where I was with this, because you get this other Grant, and I'm like, oh, this is Grant. Like before he, like Kadir stealing all his ideas, and like basically Rebecca
I'm kind of pulled from that scene
from this
flashback. Yeah.
What you got?
So in this flashback, this is the flashback where Grant and his wife and his kids have no money. He's like, fuck the establishment, fuck the man, like all that jazz, right? And then that's when Rebecca comes in as a friend of his wife, Sarah, and introduces them to their project, right?
And he wanted nothing to do with him.
He wanted nothing to do with it, right? And he did not like Kadir. His main reasoning was Kadir, right? And what he stands for. He steals other people's work.
Right.
But Rebecca said this quote to Grant, which is, what's it called? The worst thing about Kadir is his ability to rationalize the most awful aspects of his character with ease, right? So he's able to rationalize every bad thing he does.
Yeah.
But again, remember, with his genius writing, we told you guys back where she got caught up with the feds, getting caught with that stuff, right? And then Grant confronts her.
Yep.
He confronts her and says, once told me that the worst thing about Kadir was that he could rationalize, the bad things, yada, yada. And now you're doing the same
thing
to get your brother back together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell him, bro.
Back around.
And, all right, I might as well say this. And right after that, she's like, all right, just kill me. Like, get it over with. And he's like, nah,
nope.
He's going to get locked up here. And that's it.
Yeah, I wanted to bring those panels up. I love the artwork on some of those.
With the lights, with the cop lights.
That was crazy with the $1 million signing bonus.
I took a picture of that too.
So like this right here, this was just a car ride. Yeah. But I love the close-ups of like just how he draws her and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go the other way.
You can just see her world crashing down in that one line. The whole.
There we go.
But how about the next one?
Am I going back?
Like, no, you're going right.
Oh, okay, now I'm going right.
One more.
Right here. Yeah, the close. This one.
That one. She's like, okay, I got you. I'm about to switch it. It was ahead of her. Yeah.
Right.
That's a Rebecca we know.
Yeah, exactly.
Your body.
She threw the phone out the window.
Word.
Yeah, in case they were tracking her, right?
Yep. And there he is chilling out when she pulls up.
Wait for her.
This is so good. It's like a mystery. It's like a.
Dude, I can't wait to see this on TV, dude.
Yeah, man. Look at her there, man.
No, it's not, but it needs to be.
It should be.
I just had this feeling it will be.
Wow.
I hope it will be.
Matteo
I got to go with
Scalera.
9.8, so.
Hey,
and I try to like look at her point of view too. Like she lost somebody that was a part of her, and we never know what we would do in a situation. But like, what was it worth? Was it worth losing yourself over?
Exactly.
Was it worth like all that shit to become a totally different person from that person would love? She did all this stuff to get her brother back, and she became a completely different person. She's like, oh, I didn't want to kill. Oh, I didn't want to do these things, but like that's who you became. Even when she jumped to the next time, she still chose violence. Like she still chose to do the shit that she was doing.
Every time she did. Yep.
Yeah.
But now she's lost everything. And like you said, for what?
For what? For what?
Right here.
Like she could have went back. There was 10 other ways that she could have went about that. But she chose violence, dude. She chose to do the things that she was doing. One
more.
This is when the cars pull up.
Yeah.
And then
I love this. This was such a good ending.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The cop car.
Cop car surrounding her. Like,
look at that.
Boom.
Yeah, this just it went into a whole different thing, man. That's why, like, if you try to
rock at her.
Yeah, if you try to explain this to somebody, it's not just like a futuristic thing, man. It's so much deeper than that.
And did you notice that realm had no aliens, monsters, no weird stuff? It was normal. Like that's what she was plotting on the whole time. She knew what she was doing, dude.
Yeah,
she was doing
the whole time.
And
I feel like if she had said that to him at the beginning, like, hey, like I'm on board with this because I want to see my brother again. I think she was doing him so good that she would have got something like that. You see what I'm saying? He would have made that a point in time to go and try to find her brother so she could make peace with that shit. But she went about it a whole different way. When she walked into the door that day over to their house, you know, she was already plotting. So
she was super gangster, but he flipped it on her. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm like shitting on Rebecca, but at the end of the day, if I was her and like I was concocting this shit, I'd probably do the same shit. Keep it down low. All right, man. Like, we doing this, bro, but I'm gonna go this way. You know?
It's
my brother's dead. You know what I mean? Like, that's family. You know?
But it's also she does everything she can. I mean,
she did any and everything.
She basically sold her body to get there. I mean, it's just like she took herself down to her soul level. Basically, to get to see her brother. Instead of just saying,
"I'm hurting and this is what I want," like she never expressed that until it was too late before she did all this shit, you know.
But I think, what it is, it's hard to. I mean, I understand she's a villain. I get that, but at the same time, I think all of us have that one person in our life that we go. Yeah. If I could go spend another day with this person. I mean, someone from our family, whatever.
Right.
We'd all do the same thing. I mean,
right.
And that's what makes.
But I don't think my
character.
I don't think my person would want me doing that though. Like,
no, I don't think.
I feel like I would do anything to bring my mother back, you know. But I don't think she would approve and want me to be anything like that. You see what I'm saying? She'd rather me go on and be like, the person she made me out to be, you know.
But that's why like her brothers. That's why her brother's like, I don't want you anywhere near me.
Yeah,
you're not. You are not my sister.
Right.
Get the fuck on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm most excited for going into this next, because I don't know where they're going to drop us off next going into this next trade, but I still want to know about Chandra when she showed up. With the army,
with the sentient beings,
like, where's that?
That's where I thought we would go.
They didn't say one thing about that this whole time.
Obviously, gonna have an army of
of those things.
Yeah,
well, that's why I thought I had the wrong trade.
Right. Well, you got to think.
We didn't see Sean either. We didn't. We didn't see anything.
Without spoiling anything, who's missing? Who hasn't he found?
The kids.
I mean, just think about that.
The kids. Kadir, right?
I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna predict that the next trade will land us with the kids, what they're doing. So I feel like that's.
I do think it's gonna go into another segment of a personal focus on one of the characters.
Because you got to think about this. We're roughly halfway through the series.
Yeah.
Because this is issue 21. There's 43 issues.
Yeah.
You got to figure. They got to go. Eventually got to find the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
We got to find. We still got to figure out who's at the center of the onion.
Chandra.
And we got to figure out what's going on with Chandra. And is Kadir alive?
I don't like the way you say her name, Joseph.
It's one of my favorite Magic the Gathering characters, Chandra.
So I mean, you just kind of logically kind of look at it and go, what would fall in correct order for everything to wrap up in 43 issues?
Okay, so you all know I'm that puzzle piece guy. So I just pulled up the screen so I can count the dots on who's left.
Oh, good idea.
So what do we got? 5, 7.
Oh, that's actually a great idea. I didn't even think
7 dots.
5, 6, 7, 7. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What was the middle? Oh no, yeah, just 7 because the middle.
Middle's the middle of the onion.
Middle, yeah.
But that's like 7 dots right there. We need to find.
Was that before he went?
I think that was before he went and found her. So that drops it down to 6.
That was before, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that drops it down to 6.
Ward one of them, or was that?
I think that might have been before Ward too.
You know what? Right. You're right. That's before Ward and before Rebecca. So that's 2 off the bat.
He was still on the ship. He was still on the ship at that point. Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's the 2 kids.
Right.
Sean,
Rebecca,
Chandra.
Right.
So we're down to 5.
Well, Rebecca would already be done.
Right.
Oh, I thought that scene was before Rebecca. Okay.
Right. That scene is before Rebecca, but
we're
taking
Rebecca
2 off there.
So we're taking 2 off there. So it's 5 left. Yeah. So you got the kids. You got Chandra. You got
the guy that died in the first early on.
What about the girl that died in the beginning?
Oh,
there you go. You're right. You're right at the very beginning.
The one that we thought it was like Sarah, because remember you talked about
that was his wife. That was Sarah.
But she ended up dying like.
No, it wasn't his wife. Remember, we
No,
thought it was
No,
his
that
wife.
wasn't
The
his
wife
wife.
a
That was
hider.
somebody that
It's a
ended
different
up.
character.
In,
I think
Yep.
I don't think
Sheena's
she
right.
comes back. I don't know for sure. I don't
might
think
find
I
her
don't think
back,
she's irrelevant.
but think about the wife would probably be the other one.
okay.
But who knows?
Because technically, she was wearing this.
Yeah, I think it's that first lady, like Sheena's saying, because she had a suit on before she was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And
don't.
it's tracking the suits.
I could have
That's your five.
You know what I'm talking
That's your
about? We're talking about the lady who died in the first issue.
Yes,
Yeah, the very first one that
soon as we
he was
started.
running with.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was gonna show some of these.
I thought that was his
Aw.
wife. That's
I
his
like
wife.
these all come with the back of the trades.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I
Some
love
cool
it.
artwork.
Guess where I'm reading it at, Justin?
Where?
Hoopla.
What's that?
I gotta get
That's that new fruit, right?
Right.
Is that an NFL football team? What's that? There's some details of the
Yeah,
I
they
hate
are.
him so
writer,
much.
everything else. All right, guys, this is awesome. We we're just over an hour here. I think that I think everybody covered everything pretty spot on. I'm loving this. I'm loving doing these. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but just doing these shows, breaking these down. I'm loving this story. I love the crew that we have here. I love the chat that we have here. We've had double-digit chat here hanging like the entire time, 10, 11 people. So appreciate everybody in the chat right now, whether you've read it or not. If you haven't read it, we do recommend that you take some time to read it because it is very good.
Yeah.
And for something that's come out for a little while now, Matteo Scalera, just amazing artwork. I assume Scalera's in this the entire time, right? Like they don't go off JR, right? That's it. Okay, because that's just it's spot on.
Yeah.
So
stop reading. So
hey, they might be checking us out. I tagged them on Instagram.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, I've been tagging him too. He doesn't respond. I'm like, come on, man.
Hey, but they might be watching. Just quiet.
It's true. It's true. Yeah,
Hey,
maybe they're in here right now.
Love your work.
Yeah.
for sure.
So we will book the next one. We've been doing it like every month or so. I think this has been a good flow. But again, I want to thank Sheena. Sheena, thanks for jumping on with us here. I know you don't do too many YouTube appearances, so this is a big deal for me. I appreciate you.
I'll see you next year.
Hanging out with us. Yeah, 2022, baby, 2022. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to hang out with you. I'm going to be in Vegas in a couple of weeks. Going to be hanging out with Sheena, so that'll be a good time. I think Alonzo was saying he was trying to figure out a way to get to Vegas around that time too. I'm not sure if that's definite or not, but yeah. And I don't know if that includes you too, JR, or
nope, because I'll be seeing you in Baltimore.
Okay, that's right. Eric, I don't know if you're going to be around at all, but
JR is Northern California. Me, I'm Southern California.
Oh, you're South.
That's a big state.
I've been filling out that application on sugardaddy.com.
There you go.
You want too much information. I just want some money.
I was going to say that Gore Vidal is right too. What he just put up there about Deadly Class.
Oh, what's up, Gore? I just saw it. I'm talking about Remender. Yeah, so Deadly Class. That's another one I have not read. Jason, you just picked it up, right?
I
read that first issue when I was hunting with Justin. I found cover B of the first issue. It was great.
I remember we weren't sure. We were like, "Is that issue?"
Yeah,
one?
I was like,
is that rare?
They also had a TV show on for one season.
Oh, really?
For Deadly Class, it was on what the fuck, Sci-Fi.
Really?
It was really good. Yeah, it got canceled after the first season, but it was really good.
Damn, I'm gonna need to read more and watch that.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat right now, thanks again for hanging out with us. I put everyone's information in the description below, so make sure you're following everybody on Instagram or YouTube. Reach out to any of us if you want to talk more Black Science. It doesn't have to stop here. We love just talking Black Science. So definitely enjoying it. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here. Much love from everybody in the chat here for all you guys here on the panel. A lot of compliments and just love all around. So until next time, we'll figure out the next date. We'll wrap up the next one. But again, Eric, Jason, JR, Sheena, appreciate all y'all. And we'll do the next one soon. All right. Have a good one, y'all.